start a special web series at our interns channel. And the first tool that we will be looking at is the need for every developer, and that is the code editor. So, what are code editors? Code editors are very much like your text editors, but I'll just call them they are far more smarter. Smarter in the sense that they give you few features like extensions, which can allow you to automatically, let's suppose, indent your code, or even can help you integrate your code with, let's suppose, Git, or even can allow you to use its features such as IntelliSense to help you write the code. So the code editor we will be looking at is Visual Studio Code, and the reason is obviously the popularity. It's among from the last 3 years, as per Stack Overflow, it ranks amongst the top. You can see it. Firstly, it's a Visual Studio Code, then Notepad++, then comes later on the Sublime, Vim, Eclipse, even Dreamweaver, etc. So what we will be looking at in this video, firstly, I'll just give you a quick go through of the Visual Studio Code. Then we will look into the top 5 extension that I normally use. So I recommend them to all the developers. For example, auto rename tag. You can, a normal problem being that, let's suppose if you are modifying a code, for example, if you wrote a paragraph tag, now you want to convert it into an H1, you'll go in, firstly go to the very left side, change that to H1, then you will come back to the closing tag and change that as well. So it takes a while. So just to speed up the process, you just use this extension. Then you have bracket Pair Colorizer, which can help you identify the code. Then you have CSS Peek, which can obviously you can by just clicking, you can directly go into that specific code where the code related to that ID is present. Then you have this Prettier, which can help you format the code. And finally, my favorite is the live server, which works very much like your very much like a React app, where let's suppose if you're typing something, if you're changing a code, you directly see it over the browser. So it just saves a lot of time. So let's just get started. Obviously, to download the code editor, to download that, you just need to go to code.visualstudio.com, click the download button as per your operating system. Once done, just set it up. It's a very normal procedure. And then once you're done, you will see an environment something like this. Over here, the things are self-explanatory. This is your Explorer tab. Where you can have your folders and their files, and you can just explore them. Once, for example, let's suppose if you want to change the code in the index file, you just hit the index file and then you will have it open on the right hand side. Similarly, if let's suppose you want to have multiple files open, you can use the tabs over here. And there's also a split option which can allow you to code into 2 places at one time, or maybe modify that. You can even extend it if needed. Now let's suppose we just close them all for now. Let me just close all. Okay, so it's done. Now, okay, so for instance, let's just, to give you an example, how we used to code. We used to go, let's suppose if we are typing in something, we want to start, what we used to do with it was, we used to actually copy the code, then paste it, and then modify everything. And that's how we used to generate our own boil rate template. What if I tell you, you can do this by just writing exclamation mark and hit enter, and you're done. Similarly, you just save this, and now let's for example, let's suppose we want to add the style sheet. We just type in the link, then choose from the option CSS and hit enter. You get the style sheet. Same goes, let's suppose we want to add maybe favicon. So we type in link, favicon, and you're done. So obviously, these small things save probably seconds, but at the end, when you have around like maybe 3,000 or 4,000 line of code, imagine you have saved 3,000 to 4,000 seconds already. Now, there are other short codes as well. So, for example, one very common one is that when you type in any tag, it auto generates the ending tag as well. So, testing paragraph. So, that's how it does it. Similarly, the other example could be like, for example, if I want to generate list five list elements, so normal way will be like I'll just go in ul then li, and then I will actually copy, and then that's how you used to obviously generate the ordered list, unordered list I meant to say. Then what if I say I can do this by just one one line of code. How? ul li into 5, and I hit, and you're done. You get the unordered list in a matter of a second. Same goes for ordered list. Now your task is, or maybe it's a challenge, you can say, that in the comments tell me some of the other shortcodes. So go explore, Google them, and type in the shortcodes that we can use. Okay, so now time to look into some of the extensions that I mentioned earlier. So I already have them installed. All you need to do it is go to extension, and then over here, let's suppose if I want to install auto rename tag, I'll just type in auto rename, and then I can just choose it from the top and then hit this. Over here you will see an install button. Obviously just hit that button and you will have it installed. What it does, come back to your Explorer. So the auto rename tag actually helps me rename the other tag automatically. So for example, if I want to convert this P into an H1, I'll just type in H1 and automatically you will see the other element gets typed in. So that obviously saves a lot of my time. Same as something similar is, let's just go into bracket pair colorization. Just like obviously install it, one install, come back over here. This is especially useful with style sheets. So if let's suppose I have, I'll just copy the code for you for now to just give you an example. So if I have this much line of code for the responsiveness for my media files, where it's gone, now I'm finding it. So okay, so when I'll hit this, let's suppose because of the bracket colors, I can easily identify, and you can see the line as well, where does it end, and that obviously is pretty useful. The next extension that we'll look at is CSS Peek. Again, go to extension, CSS, type in CSS Peek, install it, one install, come back to your Explorer. And this is pretty useful when, let's suppose, you have a lot of code and you want to modify it quickly. So the normal practice being, let's suppose if I want to modify the container CSS, I'll go into each one of the CSS file, will search in containers, and will obviously then modify my code. What if I tell you you can do it by just sitting over here, press the control button, take your mouse over there. Because you have that extension installed, all you need to do it is hit that class and you will see all the code. And now you just modify that from within this window. And let's suppose I want to change it to 90%, or it just directly takes me over there. I modified 90%. Or let's open it, control. Okay, so I can make it back to 100%. So this is how you actually do it. Now the next thing is Prettier. That's the code formatter. So you again go to your search, type in Prettier, install it, one install, come back to Explorer. So where it helps. So for example, you have this code and you're typing in, you don't really care how it looks. Now, what it does is when you save, it auto adjusts. Okay, so this is where it's very useful. It can be used for other languages or libraries even. So for example, if I make it look worse, now if I save it, it will revert back. So that's where it's very useful. Let me revert back my code as well. So that's done. By the way, once you will install Prettier, there's one setting that you will need to do. Go to the settings and click that, and over here type in format save. Over here choose check this box, format a file on save. What it will do it will allow you to format once you actually press the control S button, or from over here the save link. Okay, so the last one is again my favorite one, which is the live server. Just go type in live server, install it. Once installed, come back to the main file. Let's suppose I want to view and modify this by viewing it in the browser. So the normal practice being that you go to web, click this, and then you view it. So that's how we used to do it. And if I change, let's suppose rather than call it created account, I'll call it maybe our register button, and I'll press the save. Then I'll go back to again this page, refresh, and then I'll see it. What if I tell you that you can actually do it while changing your code from over here? So all you need to do it is, okay, firstly I'll open with live server. So here's my server which is open. I'll just actually resize it a bit so I can see the code. So now rather than so let's suppose I want to call it again create an account. Once I do that, you can automatically see the change over here. What if I want to maybe add over here after the button some testing paragraph? So here is the testing paragraph. What if I want to change the color? It changes the color. So this is where this extension is useful. So now your job is obviously to tell me or look for more extensions that you can find. You can explore them from the extensions area. Just type in your probably, let's suppose if you want to find something related to CSS, just go in, type in CSS, and try installing them and playing with them. That's how you can explore them. And don't forget to actually comment at the end, like how was your experience learning through